What's up, guys? In today's video we're gonna have this awesome figure, which I know it did come out towards the end of 2024, but this might be one of my favorite figures of 2025. But without any controversy, we're gonna go ahead and look at this figure for what it is, although it is not accurate for what it's supposed to portray. But overall, definitely a nice figure. This is a DC Multiverse Batman armored suit from Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice. This is a McFarlane Platinum Edition, so it is usually a different variant of like their normal version of figures. This Batman comes with interchangeable hands, that spear that he shows in the movie, and a little hint of green. Now, the main reason why there is some controversy is because the accuracy of the figure, because on this particular scene, he has a different version of a helmet, which is usually battle damaged or ripped off, and he has more like battle damage in the torso. But we're not really going to look at that right now because I really want to focus on the figure itself. Definitely a nice pickup. So we're going to go ahead and open it. We're not going to beat up the box because I'm going to keep this box. Usually for my DC Multiverse figures, I throw them away. But for my Batman figures, I do tend to keep them, especially ones that I like. So let's go ahead and open this up, look at a tray shot, and go straight into the accessories. So here we have a tray shot of Batman. Definitely kind of annoying how they have the cape, but love to see a cloth cape. Let's go ahead and look at the card and the stand real quick. So here we have a classic matte stand with the DC logo. Really not too crazy. So here we have a typical McFarlane card. It says Batman armored suit, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. On the back has a little bit of a description right there if you guys want to go ahead and read that. Basically some data file information. Pretty cool to have. All right, so first accessory we're going to look at is the spear. Now, unfortunately, this spear does feel like it's very flimsy. You guys can see it, it's very flimsy and it kind of bends a lot. Not sure exactly why they use such cheap plastic for this, especially for a special edition. Not really liking it. And then the green looks kind of weird, but overall, not too bad. It comes already slightly bent, so I'll probably have to put that in some hot water. He does come with a right hand right here, kind of open palm. Not sure if he's trying to grab something or maybe room for a weapon, but he does have that right there. On his left hand, he does have a fist, which is not bad, but there is some negatives with the left hand that I'll explain later on in the video. You guys will probably be able to tell on your own. So here we have the armored suit Batman. Definitely one of my favorite figures of this year. Honestly, Ben Affleck is one of my favorite portrayal or actors to portray Batman. You guys can see that the detail on this figure is really on point. Like I said, I'm not really too big of a fan of the green hue that Batman has, but besides that, let's go ahead and look at the exact details that he has on the side of the armor. You guys can see all the added detail of the armor. You can see the shininess of the silver paint or the plastic that they used is really well put it, in my opinion. You guys can see it even on the helmet. You guys can see the eyes glows. It feels like it has a glow effect, like the way they painted it. It's just white, nothing crazy, but it just looks really well put, really realistic. Now the belt doesn't have much of a wear on it. Would have been nice if it had a little bit like wear, kind of dirty, but overall not that bad. And this is kind of like the diaper piece, which I'm not sure if it's going to restrict the articulation, but still not that bad. And then this little strap, I think it is stuck on there. I feel like you could remove it maybe if you wanted to, just to make it look free, or it might be glued. Overall, not that bad as far as detail wise. Looking at the other side, you guys can see on his feet, he has this wing like thing right here. Also has it on the arm right there. Now, the only thing that does suck, which I was playing with it just a little bit before, is the joints are pretty stiff. Not sure exactly why. So a major flaw is that he is kind of top heavy, so it does have the tendency to fall down. You guys can even see the hinges right here on the feet, which I'm not really a big fan of that. Not sure if it's not pushed in all the way, but just have to point that out. But he is very top heavy, so he does want to lean forward or back, so you might have to use a stand in order to add more stability to this figure. So overall, when it comes to detail, this figure is on point, has a nice shelf presence, even with the green hue on it. Definitely going to be one of my favorite figures of this year so far. Maybe if I get the regular version, that might be like top notch in my opinion. But this cloth cape, now if it was black, I think it would be better, but it's pretty nice. You guys can see the wingspan right here. It is torn up, and also it's also on a wire, which is actually really cool. I don't really have too many Batman figures with a wired cape. Now I wish the wiring was a little bit stronger. It doesn't really want to stay up, but overall, it is not a bad feature to have Batman with a wired cape. There's so much different posability with this option, having a wired cape. Overall, not a bad figure. Now, let's go ahead and go straight into the articulation. I'm going to go ahead and look at the head sculpt. He can do the iconic pose where he looks up. He can look down. He can slightly look left and slightly look right. Not that much because of all this armor, so it is somewhat forgiving. You know, look at his arms as well. It won't, it kind of can rotate all the way. Now this shoulder piece is a separate piece of plastic, but you could break it. I'm not sure if it's too fragile, but overall it's not bad. Now both have the same feature as well. His arms can go as high as this, single jointed as well. Now I don't really care too much that it's not double jointed because it is a big figure, pretty bulky, not too bad. Double jointed right there. He can almost touch his rear end, not quite, but kind of can. His ankle can move back and forth, swivel around, and he also has toe articulation, which is pretty cool. They even added details underneath the feet to have like a little bit of a spike effect. The pegs are right here. Pretty nice. I think it's good. Now this figure would have been, I think, more like appealing if it was pinless. Now I'm not sure how often they do pinless figures, but this is definitely one of those figures that would have looked nice pinless in my opinion. Now I'm going to go ahead and change some of the interchangeable hands and maybe add the accessory to see what it looks like. So you really do got to force this little thing in here, and it just looks so ugly because the way that it's like warped. And honestly, the two cons that I'll say about this figure, like I mentioned before, you guys can see that his hand does have this green hue to it. Let me go ahead and zoom in. Now, a big issue with this, in my opinion, is that his other hand, which is just a fist, is not painted green. So you guys can see that it's going to look kind of weird. That once I put that on, you guys can see it'll just look weird. Not sure exactly why they didn't do this. And if you really think about it, you really cannot have this figure without the spear, because technically it just won't be accurate. If you remove the spear and have him have a fist, he's going to have that green hue because of what? You know, it's kind of weird. I really don't like that. It would have been like, I don't even know what kind of solution you could have done that. Maybe get a different head sculpt with the green hue only, just the head sculpt possibly. But with the whole thing being half green, you kind of have to have him holding it just so it to make sense, you know, to make the figure make sense. Or you could maybe just paint this or even rub this off. Maybe if you get some acetone, you probably could rub that off. Now I'm not sure if I should try that. That might be something I might do that to the hand actually. I might get some acetone, rub that off and see what it does. Or I'm not sure if acetone will mess with the plastic, but I don't know. I'm just really not feeling that green hue. But you know, this figure was hard to find. I don't want to get this like get paid resale for the other versions. I'd just rather just go in the store and get it. That's the whole idea of toy hunting and looking stuff up. This figure is just really dope. I really do think it could be better, but overall, not that bad. We're going to go ahead and compare him to other versions of Batman. Here we have another Ben Affleck Batman. This is the same line, technically, Batman versus Superman. On the Batman versus Superman wave, you guys can see there's a slight difference in height because, you know, he is wearing armor. And right here we have the same version, but in the Flash wave. Now, his leg is kind of weird because it just moves around on its own. I think having all three of these is the most ideal way to display them. Definitely these two in particular because they come from the same storyline. Now, the only thing that I don't like is that I feel like the face sculpt, the bottom plate, doesn't really resemble Ben Affleck all that much. I know it's just a small detail you wouldn't even notice, but just pointing that out, because even on the Flash version, it really doesn't give me Ben Affleck vibes. It really doesn't look like him all that much. Plus his figure looks very pale on the face. Not sure why they decided to go that way, and probably, you know, I do have the Justice League version of Ben Affleck, but that one's still sealed. I haven't opened it, and I'll probably do a comparison of all four because these are the only versions of Ben Affleck Batman I have. And hopefully I do end up getting the Nightmare version of Batman, which I'll probably put a review or a card here if whenever I do get it and review it. Definitely a must pick up in my opinion. But yeah, you guys let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think of this version of the armored Batman? Definitely a pickup in my opinion. Now if I had to rate this figure overall, I think I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely do not pay over like resale prices. I'll definitely pay retail only. Maybe you can get it on sale. Accessories wise, definitely give it a 6 out of 10. Although I like having multiple hands, not even accurate because it's not even painted. And the articulation definitely, I think it's a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is a solid thing. And like I said, overall 8 out of 10 for the overall figure. When it comes to accuracy, I definitely give this one a 6 out of 10. Accurate armor, accurate figure, yes, but the paint extremely inaccurate. But I definitely still think you guys should pick this up. Comment down below what is your thoughts on the armor Batman. Definitely think you guys should still give it a chance. You guys can get it on sale or at a good price, but let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.